Hey YouTube, how you doing? It's been a while. Sorry about that. I took the summer off. Brett explained it in that one ride, but I was hoping to be back in September, and it's now October 3rd, so I'm a little late. I don't feel bad about that, but like I said, we were going to build a deck this summer. We're finally done building a deck. All the projects, like any other project, it just went on way too long, and we're glad we did it. We're glad how it turned out, but we're also glad it's done. But now I'm back. We're getting ready for winter. Right in the yoga studio. Still kind of a mess. Still looking around, see a lot of deck stuff going on that I need to deal with. Not the least of which is all this east trough sitting on top of the car right now. Haven't done anything on the 64 New Yorker without you guys. But what I did do was bring back some motors. So you might notice I have a Slant 6 here, I have a Slant 6 there. If you're looking way in the back, I got a Slant 6 there. I got 3 Slant 6s in my garage. Why do I have 3 Slant 6s in my garage? I don't know. This motor right here, this Slant 6 specifically, has been in my life for, I think, 21 years now. Maybe even longer, probably 22. And we haven't had much to do with each other in those 22 years. There's a story about that. This one is a parts motor from a car I bought about 5 years ago that I hope to put this Slant 6 into, a 63 Plymouth, but the car was so far gone that I ended up just pulling the motor and tranning out and bailing the rest of the car. The motor in the back there showed up online on the buy and sell site for $50, and I'm not a strong man, so I bought that one for $50. Like, how can you go wrong? Like, you can't have enough Slant 6s in your life. But so the story behind this one was, when I was 17, or I was 16, starting when I was 16, 17, is that I bought, my dad actually talked me into it, I bought an F-body Roadrunner that had been T-boned from a auction site that were specialized in cars that had been in accidents, and we ended up winning it. I think it was a $400 car, and I ended up restoring it with a body man over about 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years, and got to the point where the car was so nice that I didn't want to drive in the wintertime. So when I was about 18, going on 19 that winter, one of my uncle's friends came to me and said they had a 64 Dodge 330, which is basically like a 64 sedan. And it was a sedan body, like full pillars, window frames, like nothing special with this car. Like, it was your utilitarian level 64 Dodge. And he even had radio delete. Somebody put an audio box in it, but the radio delete panel was in the glove box. And he just used it from driving back and forth to work. He worked about 30 clicks out of town and just used it for that for years. And then the motor started going on it, this motor, and he took it to the local college and had them rebuild it. And they screwed it up, and right after I got back on the road, he ended up turning a bearing, and it was off the road again. And at that point, he was just fed up with it. He figured, well, I'll just cut my losses here. He sold the car to me for $300, and quickly I removed this motor out of it with the idea I was going to use it as a winter car. The only interesting thing about the car was it was a push button automatic. So same as the 64 here, same year. This is 727 trans with 383 in it now. Would have been 413, but this was a Slant 6 car with a 904 push button automatic in it. So I pulled the motor out over the winter. My dad took a little bit of an interest in the car. My dad was kind of an interesting guy where he loved working on cars. He loved me working on cars, but we didn't spend a lot of money on cars. Like, we just kind of did what we could do, and it wasn't like we were dealing with places, dealing with throwing cash at them or anything else. But for some reason, he got in his head, he threw this motor in the back of his truck, and there was an engine rebuilder in Red Deer, where I grew up, And I think they specialize in a lot of performance stuff, but they did just average engine rebuilds. And he brought this in, and he had him rebuild this motor professionally. This motor's been professionally rebuilt by I think it was Lee Brothers Motors. They've since gone out of business. This is back in like 1999, 1998. I think it was 1998. So the winter of 97, 98. This was rebuilt by Lee Brothers Motor in Red Deer, and then I got it back. Painted it, I think it's a darker red than it's supposed to be, but it's also got a lot of sun damage from sitting for such a long time. I'll tell you the rest of that in a minute, but like I think it's supposed to be kind of a redder red, but repainted the motor, I sealed it up, and I had the pan off of it this week, and just all those things you do as a 20-year-old not knowing what you do, torque the shit out of the pan, and there's just a ton of silicone on there for no really good reason other than I had no idea what I was doing. But we put the motor back in the car, and I drove it. I think I drove it maybe to the DMV, probably not. Knowing me at the time, I was probably just running with binder plates on it. And drove to work once. I remember I had at work. I was working as a laborer at a oil field company at the time. And then I drove it home that night. And then I was T-boned at an intersection. Probably, can't remember exactly, but it was probably the worst accident I'd ever been in my life. Actually, to this day, other than they're getting run over by a train, it's the worst motor vehicle accident I'd ever been in. I pulled out in front of a guy, and his truck just took off the entire front of his car and just kind of pushed it all to the right. And when I was pointed this way, and by the time the accident was over, I was pointing this way. And just rode off this car. I only maybe put 200 kilometers on this car after the motor went back in. And we had towed back home. My dad showed up on the scene, and I was a mess. And we just promptly put this car in the back. And for a while there, this motor had just been rebuilt, and I had 200 kilometers on it. For a while, my dad looked around for a parts car to put that car back together, but wasn't one of those things that looked like it was going to be easy to do. It was pretty messed up. And then we started looking for another car to put this motor in. I was last 20 years, I've always had this motor in the back of my head to want to put it in something else. But the problem is with Slant 6s, they run so well normally that the car could be totally gone. And Slant 6 is probably still going to start. They're never what's wrong with the car. It's never oh, the car's fine, but the motor's blown. It's always the car is dust and the motor keeps running. So this 200 kilometer, less than 200 mile Slant 6 has just been sitting. I pulled it out right around. So it was sitting in that car in the back lot of our place, our acreage, forever, and had the hood off. And that's why it's so damaged. The hood was so bent it couldn't stay on. So it's got all this sun damage on, which I kind of think is neat. I kind of think it looks good, but maybe that's just me. But the plan is to, part of this winter, we're still going to move forward on the New Yorker, but just as things go, we're going to play with this a bit. And just a minute. So just trying to think what we could do with this motor. I want to paint it up. I don't know if I'm going to paint this valve cover because I do like the sun-baked damage to it. You just don't get that, but I don't know. I also don't like a lot of guys, patinas turn into a thing. This is naturally earned patina, but at the same time it's naturally earned because I was an idiot and I was in a traffic accident. But I got a bunch of red engine enamel. A little harder to track down than I thought, but we're going to paint this motor up. I got a new water pump for it. We're going to use these two motors for parts motors for this thing because I don't know why, but when I pulled it off, so I pulled the engine out of the car probably, I guess 8 years ago now. And I moved it into warm storage, and then I took a bunch of parts off of it. And like anything else, you take a bunch of parts off, they just disappear. They walk away. So there's no intake or exhaust. I don't know where they went, or a carburetor. So I do have these other two motors that have a good intake and exhaust. And this pan is off this motor over here. because the pan for this car is a little dented, and if you got 3 motors, might as well use the best of the best. This one is the most honest one of it. Like, I don't think anybody's ever taken this motor apart ever. Like, you still see got the intake and just the way the fuel line goes around the front of it. Just looks like it's telling you the truth. Like, no one's pissed with this motor ever. And being the color's a little brighter red, and giving, like, some of this is sun damage, and some of this was just me painting it the wrong color at the time. So what we're gonna do with this motor is just, I feel guilty about never doing anything with this motor. I feel guilty of the fact that my dad paid for it to get it rebuilt. I think it was like $1,100 at the time, which is a lot of money for 2000 or 1998. But so we're going to, when there's nothing to do in the car, or they're waiting on parts and work on this thing, I'd like to build an engine stand for it, like a test stand, and get it running again. I'm looking for a bell housing. I'm looking for, like, this was hooked up to a 904 transmission, so I need a bell housing. They're easy enough to track down. I also need a flywheel for it, so I can start up on a test stand. Gonna rebuild the carb off of one of these things, just stuff like that. The other thing, I kind of want to performance it up a bit, so I got some ideas. Can't think of what car I'm gonna put it into. Can't think of what car. Trying to figure it out. What car should I track down from '64 that I would like to put it into? So got an idea for a car, but so that's a pipe dream right now. Like, I don't have a car for it, but I like to get it running again, because I haven't heard this thing run in 20 years. So like the amount of time, yeah, like it's like this thing hasn't made a noise in 20 years, and that just makes me sad. So as much as, like, everybody likes to talk about Hemis and, you know, big blocks and everything else, and yeah, I get it, but a certain part, like, this is what people had. Like, you didn't have a Hemi unless you had the money and stuff like that. You had a Slant 6. It's like the guys, they'd watch NASCAR races, you know, watch the big motors win Dodge race on Sunday, and on Monday they go buy a car with a Slant 6 in it. And these things got a great following. These things have a great following in Australia, where they build a bunch of performance parts for these things, and Offenheiser does too. And a part of me wants to just maybe throw a little juicier cam in it. Once we get it up and running, we'll get it running with under its own, like, intake, cam, and everything. But then once we get it running, I'd like to, like, I wouldn't juice up the 383, but something like this, there's nothing to lose. Like, it's just kind of fun. So I'm thinking of, like, dual intake. Like, I know they got the long-armed intakes that they used, like Chrysler made one out of the box. So you had basically a kit race car at the time. But I'd like to maybe do one of the dual 2-barrel Offenheiser intakes, and maybe like a header setup on it. Or, I don't know, like, I'm not in love with the header things I've seen for the kind of money you gotta spend, but something to kind of make it a little more fun. And then I got an idea for a tranny I'd like to put behind it, but I don't want to say anything before, because it'll just sound stupid right now. So let's just see how far we get with this, and certain things go right. Like, as we go through the New Yorker project, we'll find a home for this guy and something interesting. And like I said, I got a couple ideas. Don't want to say anything, but I got a couple ideas. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know that tonight. We'll start a little bit of painting and such on this thing today before I start cleaning it up a bit. But yeah, we'll go from there. Welcome back. Welcome to the fall of 2020. Glad you're here with me. So I just put a little bit of the engine enamel I bought yesterday in the only red. Couldn't find the Chrysler red. No one carries it, but this is pretty close. Like, this is flattened out a bit. It's really flat, which I imagine they were. But, you know, like, it's a Slant 6, and I'm not going for, like, I'm not doing a points restoration on whatever car this might be going into long term. Whatever car I'm thinking of putting this in, you know. But, I say but a lot. But I think it'll be interesting to have like flashy parts. I'm going to paint the timing chain color too, I think. And this will sit here. And then I'm thinking of just cleaning that up a bit and just hitting it with some clear. I've never done that before. And I've always made fun of the guys who did, but maybe I shouldn't judge. Because that, you know, that valve cover just looks, I don't know, it's got a slash of red across it there. But it looks so good. There might have been something, you know what it probably was? There's probably something sitting on it right there for a long time. But it looks so good, and I don't know, I just really like how it looks. And it's my motor, I'll do whatever I want to do. But, and it's got some rust on it too. Like it's resting along there. As long as it seals, I'm happy. And look, like it's just, this motor's so funny because the way it's aged, because it was apart and painted and then basically put in storage, is just different than any other motor would have aged in the same, you know, same period of time in a car running. And the fact it's not covered in oil, because like look at these guys, they're both just absolutely buried in oil. Like that one there, I spent 4 hours with the pressure washer on it and still not great. This one, a little cleaning, it just kind of cleans up pretty quick. I don't know, that's kind of where I'm at with it. So it's becoming very clear that I know nothing about tire sizes. I found a set of 14-inch tires that would work just for rolling the car around the garage. And I put them on there. I put one on there. They're Ford Aerostar tires, minivan tires. They even got minivan mags on them. It's just off-putting to say the least. But they're 70s. They're 70s and they're 14. And I put it on there and it just looked wrong, for lack of a better term. Wrong. So I think we're going to be, I don't know, now I know I've pissed around with this tire thing forever, but I think we got to be 15s, 1575s. This is what I know about tires. We're going to be 15 for the 15-inch mags, or mags, wheels. So I put the spare tire Alfalma in. It's an older 15-inch tire, an early radial. And that just looks a lot, like of course the fender's not on there. Maybe it'll look too meaty if the car's all together, but I don't know, it seems to look right to me. You know, like it just, this is a 75. Also, like it's just a taller tire. They're about the same height. So none of this makes me feel better. But I do have some 15-inch steel wheels. I would hate to steal Thomas spare. But just on the Slant 6 side. So spent the other night putting the water pump on. So the Slant 6 is coming together. I cleaned up the mounting surface for the intake and the exhaust too. I'm just very slowly ducking my head back into this car thing. Like I feel bad because I'm shitty with the camera, and like it's hard to get your head back into it. I want to do it, and I keep thinking, like I go to bed at night thinking about this car and that motor and all these tires all around in my brain, swirling around. And then I'm paralyzed when I come out here because I just got so much going on. So it's one of those things that just, it needs to come naturally, I guess, but right now it's just not coming naturally yet. I gotta get rid of all this used oil, all these other things. Suck it up, Angus, just get back in there, but I don't know. Right now I'm thinking 15-inch 75. What are you thinking? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Anyway, stay tuned. Hey, so it's 10 o'clock on a Friday night. Everybody's gone to bed. I need to get out here. I need to do, excuse me. I need to do something simple. I need to do the washing dishes move. Something easy, satisfying. Kind of I kick this project off, but just kind of get moving down the road a bit. I know everybody wants me to work on the purple car here. That's my kids call it, the New Yorker, but I'm working my way up to it. Had TR6 out today, was able to move some stuff out. So we're getting a little cleared up in here, but still a little, I don't know, look this way, it's still a little congested in here. And my bench is still buried. Top of my toolbox is buried. Every time I look at it and think about cleaning stuff, I just get sick. So we're gonna do a little more work on the Slant 6 tonight. Last time I put the water pump on, I don't know if I get much of that, but pretty straightforward. It's all torqued down. I'm gonna clean up this a bit, but this is what we're going for. Everybody will hate this. I'm putting shiny parts on a kind of gross engine. Not gross, but not very shiny. So we're gonna continue that theme tonight. We're gonna put for no reason other than I have it, I wanna see if it works, and it's an easy win. I'm gonna put the fuel pump on from this guy. We're gonna take this guy's fuel pump. I feel so bad with this. Like this, I think this thing is cooped. I'll tell you why, because when I pulled the water pump on this guy, that came out of it, and it was really oily before. So I don't know, it says cooked to me. Does it say cooked to you? But the reason I like messing with this one, because a guy had that one apart already. No one's taking this one apart. Like, you look how it was just somebody drove it and put it away. Probably broke, but like no one really pissed around with this thing. So I'm the one that gets to piss around with it. So I know where everything is. I've taken lots of pictures. I just want to pull off part by part. And we're going to get down to the manifold. And I got a carb kit, came the other day. So we're going to do that too. But I don't know. It'd be fun to pull the pump tonight. Just get back in the practice of doing something. I'm just trying to get in muscle memory going again. I know that's not a thing, but just to kids bicycle home. Just to get back into regular doing something here. So stay tuned, let's do that. Well, I'm glad I did that because I think you can see a little better now. So if this is all unusable, I'm sorry. So we're pulling this guy right here. This is the fuel pump on this car, and it looks fairly close to original. We're gonna clean it up a bit. And this is the fuel line going over to the carburetor, and it's run off the camshaft. Camshaft, yeah. Run off the camshaft. And it just pumps it up and down. If we can get it to suck air, we'll move it over, because who gives a shit? But first things first, we got a beer. And I'll just kind of go through what I like to do. This is wrong. But no one's watching, so who cares? Been saying a lot lately that my videos have reached a level of popularity on YouTube only really seen by the likes of like Betamax birthing videos from the late 80s. So you're welcome. Nice beer, back to drinking. So drinking and pulling fuel pump. It's kind of weird for me. I usually have the TV or some music on, but it's getting hard to edit around that stuff. Nope, this one's 1/2 inch. Okay. And this one would be. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, there we go. All right. So that's off. This motor, I don't know, like, I always assign weird emotions to things. Like, I feel bad. I feel worse for the motor behind it because that was something that was completely avoidable and happened, and it was my fault. This motor, however, I did not park that car in the field. I did not let it sit there for 30 years. And It's not my fault this motor is, other than probably being ratched, like it's kind of just like a time capsule. Like there's even the rubber dipped ends on the wire hanger thingy. Wow, can't talk tonight. Must be the beer. So let's just pull this out. Hate this ratchet. Can't find my snap on. Oh, there it is right there. That's loose. And see, I mean, this is the right size. It's coming right off. All right. Well, that's the end of the video. Thanks, folks. Now, let's take this guy off. This is what you call your mechanical fuel pump. This is what goes, there's basically a diaphragm inside, and when it lever pushes down, it creates a vacuum, and that vacuum pulls in fuel on kind of just like how a pump works. There's one bolt there. Does that look original to you? Got a little shoulder on it. Shit. It also has a washer that we're gonna lose. All right, there. If I let it do its own thing. Why am I working on a Slant 6 Angus? Like we all tuned in to watch you work on a New Yorker. Well, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. Because I might be the only one who cares. And the reason I posted YouTube, look, the gasket's in good shape. Look at that. Is so I have some kind of accountability. And I've just blown past that accountability this year because I kind of just walked away from it for a while to get the deck done. All these good intentions and then the COVIDs and having a life, but let's see. I think it works. Maybe it works. I think you can fix these too. You can get a fuel pump kit. How do you tell if they work? I think you put your finger over it. So there it is there. Look at that. So we clean it up a bit. Reach. Big reach. So I've cleaned this up a bit. It's looking a lot better than it was. I pulled this piece out and there's a spring and there's a cap in there. So I think when this thing pulls, it like that's a keeps it from reversing a bit. So yeah, it's way better than it was. It's made in Canada. Canada, look. All right, bottom half. Let's take a look here. I want to screw around with this because if this membrane's working and doing its thing, let's just leave it alone. Kind of my thought on it. Don't go looking for problems, you know. Clean up the edge. Do some dental work on it here. I'll bring you back in a second. Been going through this thing, cleaning it up. See how this works? You pull it down and that creates the vacuum. Pulls fuel through the top. And I don't see a reason why this thing's not gonna work. I really don't. Oh, I might not, but I'm just using my dental tool to scrape out some stuff here. Fascinating. Dental hygienist did this to me earlier in the week. And I'm paying it forward, as the kids would say. All right, wow. I could spend the rest of my life doing that, I guess. Beer break. All right, let's slam this thing back together. So we got this guy we've cleaned up a bit. Let's give it another little wipe here with a dirty shop towel. It's the level of quality work going in here. Get this guy, which I do think works. That's the inlet side. Yeah. So that fills up with fuel. On this side. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, that's worse. I just blew through it. Oof. No idea why. But I did. Did a bunch of stuff from my other time. So I just like the aspect of this motor is that I'm not painting everything. We're not getting brand new parts. Like it's the kind of the relief. It's the opposite of the... Oh, listen to that, eh? Ooh, ooh. Listen to that. Yeah, that guy wants to suck some fuel. Whatever it wasn't doing before. It's definitely doing it now. I wonder. I better not. Okay. So we're at the other engine now. And we're gonna clean up this surface. Ooh. Angus, the 21 or 20-year-old, I remember 19-year-old silicone monster's been here. There was one of my bolts skidding across the floor. Let's just see there's a cam lobe in there that pushes us around. Let's put a little bit of this in there. I get this panel's not on yet anyway, so it'll all come out the bottom. But still, best practices say stuff a little paper towel in there. You don't just kick a bunch of dirt into the motor. Your results may vary. Whoop. There's still more in there. And look at that. Just clean that up a bit. I don't know what color I was painting this motor, but it's a dark red. I don't know where this. I know this. This came from Canadian Tire. I know this came from Canadian Tire because that's the only place I bought stuff back then. But what was I thinking? And I like it now because it's been on there for so long. And it's so wrong. It's so wrong. It's right. It's bad. It's all apart. So I know I painted this motor. Did I paint it? I did paint this motor. Somebody painted this motor. Might have been me. I think it was me. Looks like something I would have done. Actually looks like a better job than I would have done at that time. Just trying to clean this up because I can't have these things in. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to get back in here again. We want our wrong colors, you know, Slant 6 to look proper, right? So much wrong here. It's gotta be right. If loving you is wrong, and I don't wanna be right. Being right means being without you. I'd rather be. This is their guy. Look how much nicer. Like it's not perfect, but it's way nicer. And it sits right on the cam lobe. So it's right there. Like that. And all of a sudden, suddenly, we've got fuel. Hopefully. Oh, yeah. You can hear it working. And this is the original gasket here. This is one that was in my gasket kit that I bought apparently 7 or 8 years ago. Because why did I do that? And that'll sit there. I cleaned up the bolts. One went fluttering away. Me and being without you. Alright, look at that, eh? Ooh. Ooh. Let's get excited. Are you excited? We're going to put a little Loctite on these because I haven't. Loctite doesn't mean lock stuff down, like it means being able to get it off again too. Why is that so oily? Oh, yes, I just cleaned everything. Alright, a little bit of Loctite on there. And then there is no pump spec. Well, we'll take it down to 25 foot-pounds just to say we did something here. Why not, eh? I've become a journeyman level auto mechanic since the summer. Ooh, not really. All right. So that is on. But while we're here, so not done yet. Not done fascinating you guys with my work. I want to put a couple other things in here, but I need to do something to do that. I'm taking this time machine cover off because more Angus's silicone is our friend. Gasket work here from 19-year-old Angus. Oh my God. Who is this more? Look at this. Seriously. Did I own stock in a silicone company at the time? Look at that gasket. Like, tell me that's not brand new. That seal here. Look at this thing. Tell me that's not brand new. Like, look at this. This is all brand new in here. All brand new. It's ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. What did I want to do here? Why did I do this? This is look how tight this time machine is. They painted it. I'm going to tell you how I know. Well, maybe I painted it because I'm a dumbass. Look, there's still paint on the chain from when this was painted. So they might have painted it. But I put this, I can tell I put this on because I siliconed it within an inch of its life. This is just so fun. Are you having fun going down this memory journey with me? Would you rather I be working on New Yorker? Comment below. Yeah, we'll do some work on New Yorker next year, but indulge me, won't you? I wanted to move this thing to top dead center. Or I wanted to, this is the mark here. Is that the mark? I don't think that's the mark. Oh, that's the mark. Right there. I think I pointed at each other. Is that the thing? Look at this. This is like brand fucking new in here. Or brand new. Sorry. This is just a silicone nightmare. Welcome to my silicone nightmare. This has been awesome. Sorry, I gotta do something about this. I can't look at it any longer. I'm so embarrassed. Thinking I would have held. Like, what the fuck? What the hell was I thinking? I know what I was thinking. More is better. Like, you get to that point, you're like, more, you don't know what you're doing. More is always better. And then you grow up and you realize, no, more is not better. More is more. I get that stuff later, but let's get this thing rolled over a bit. Alright, so we're back. It's now the Monday, holiday Monday of the Thanksgiving weekend. In Canada, you have a different Thanksgiving in the US if you're watching from there. My camera battery went dead. I believe I had this time and chain cover off and showed you how beautiful it looks in here, like it barely got kilometers on it. But the other thing I did, you see this bracket? I pulled it off of, oops, that's not gonna work. Let's try this. I pulled it off that motor. And it was buried in oil. Like, it was buried in grease and oil and mouse shit and mouse other things. And I just took it in I don't know. I don't even know, my wife should know this, but I cleaned it and kind of just boiled it in the pot in the sink. Woo! And cleaned it up because I could paint it. But then I'm painting it the same color as that, which is fine. But like this is original color. So not that that's important, but it's still kind of neat just to leave it alone. Like I'm kind of getting to that point, like let's just leave it alone. It's only looked like this once, and it hasn't looked like this for years because it's been sitting in the field covered in God knows what. But I actually even at a certain point I took just scratched the stuff off with a skewer, and it still came out pretty damn good. So this is for mounting, I believe, the alternator here, and then the coil here. So I want to do that, and that's what I was going to do. I thought the coil went right on here. So I was going to do that last night and then realized quickly that's not the way it works. The coil goes on this guy. So this is the screw that holds it in, or the bolt. One bolt here, here, and then I got two other bolts here too, I think. I think this is the guy. Why? No, yeah, that's the guy. So that guy there. Okay, there. Trying to do this on camera. Yeah, it must be that guy. That doesn't seem right though, because we'll go refer together more, which is the best part. So I think these guys got some new tricks to bring the interiors back. I don't know what channel that was a little while ago. So this is coil corner, coil cleaning for the coil enthusiast. This week on coil cleaning, Angus talks to himself again, which seems to be the theme here, without the music. But maybe I'm playing music. Maybe I'm doing a montage of all the other times I've cleaned things. We're running low on my bicycle degreaser. I think that's what that is. I just kind of want it to look presentable, you know? I should clean all my parts off camera and then have them ready to assemble. Just kind of laid out on a cloth. Okay. This is going to be one of the more comprehensive Slant 6 tutorials. Not really, but at least you can hear me talking, because everything I look at the Slant 6, unless it was done on the power block on TNT, it's you can't hear what these guys are saying. They're all Aussies, so when they do talk, you're like, I don't know what he's saying anyway. So yeah, get those cleaned up. Made in Canada. Again, made in Canada parts. Slant 6 parts, all homegrown. Marching back to Saskatoon. Alright. Alright. Looks like something. Whoa. Going through blue shop towel. Shit through a goose. Poop through a geese. Right there. See, that looks cool, because that, when you throw that on there, it looks proper. Like I'm struggling with Thelma, like I want to, she's 77 Newport, like I have that Holly EFI on it, or maybe I shouldn't say anything. I have an EFI system on it. Company runs with Molly. And I want to do that Spark Advance coil sign on it. Electronic Spark Advance. Whatever it is, it's you know, smart coil, I guess, for like, and it plugs in to the same system as the EFI, so it can all work with each other. I think that'll help her cold starts a bit. And the other places where she's only really place she suffers right now is cold starts. But I also haven't haven't done the cap or the rotor or the cap or the plugs either, or the wires. So there's probably a few places where it lets her down. Like, such an idiot. Like I put a $1,000 EFI system on and then don't do the caps. Get out of the cap plugs. So that could be the problem too. Like, but anyway, getting back to my original point is I don't want to do that because the parts look so hot roddy, for lack of a better term. Like, Thelma is kind of a stately lady. We don't really have chrome and bling out of the hood because that would be gaudy on such a stately car. And that's the fact that these things got like giant rotor caps on them. These look like devil's heads and horns, and then it's got this heat fins, cooling fins on the coil, and here's like, it's part of me, I want to know how much cooling has to actually get done there. So part of me wants to like 3D print something over it so it'll look stock, like Chrysco Computer Advanced Spark or something like that. Something that would look like it was from 1977, like when computers were cool. Right there. That's. I'll show you. Oh, come on up. There you go. There you go. Way up there. Right there. So that goes there. You want to go on the grinder? Is that what you want? That's how this ends. With you going on the wire wheel. And that cable would go around it and no problems. Let's try that. Oh, look at that. Now, environmentally, tell me this. Is it better? This car is just out sitting in a field like it was for the first 20 years? Or last 20 years? Or is it better than I'm trying to put it back on the road? Or parts of it? Philosophical moment. With Angus. Or Stumpy. Or whatever you want to call me. Alright, well. There you go. He was a pain in the ass. Alright, so. Oh, I'm looking at a new side of this thing. It's just disgusting. Man, I can't in good conscience. Maybe a little of this. I should. It's not. We're just taking all the paint off. Is it better? Is it worse? Who knows? So now, beautiful label that we got here with the Chrysler on it. That goes to the inside. We know this is the screw or bolt on this one, so you know where to do, just so we don't lose it later. Okay, put down here. Yeah, put this one back on the original one. So, what? No, waste not on whatever that way that goes. And then we do have a seal, an O-ring. So, if you're going to have problems, it's going to be here, right? What did I drop? At the go-bar. Oh, I dropped that screwed bolt, didn't I? That's all right there. So let's go into the Googler Slant sticks. I think it's supposed to be like this. That's what it seems like. That's kind of where it wants to go. It is right there. Nope, it wants to go over there. That's straight down. Front of the engine. Doesn't make me feel good. Because if it went there, let's do some more research, shall we? Images. This is interesting. Like this guy's here, and that's the right cable all day long, right? Like, does it matter where it sits? Like, I guess it does. Like, should I show it like again? Set fire 6. So I have the cam marks set. So under that theory, six should be there, and 6 is there. What the hell? Wait a minute here. Wait a cotton pecking minute. Let's pull one out. Right? Ugh. cotton pecking neck here, as they say. Oh, because of course I did. If I lift this up. Nope. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? So we would go in that way. Going that way. There we go. Alright, so that's 6. Alright. No agreement that's 6. 6 was a goofy looking one. This is 6. So this goes back on. Like this. Then this guy's 6. Everybody in agreement? Say aye. Aye. Okay. That's 6. And if that's 6, then 5's there. 4 is there. 6. So 6 here. 2's here. 6, 2. 6, 2, 4, 1. There. That looks better. I like the different boots, but let's see what we can do in here. So hello YouTube. So camera went dead last night and we're kind of at the mercy of the single battery right now, but my other infrastructure is starting to charge up, so next episode won't be that way. Just what you missed last night, I kept working for, I got the rest of the spark plug wires. So we're saying this one is number 6. We're at top dead center. So it goes 6, 6, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 4, 1, 5, 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's where we're at. So that's where we got to in the first episode. It's not going to be all Slant Stick stuff, but you know, we're starting to look at something here. Got to do the intake side. That's going to take getting Mr. Sandblaster going again. Mr. Sandblaster's over there, and Mr. Sandblast vacuum system's over here. And the car is way up against the wall. So we're gonna figure that one out. But in the next episode, oh, there's my son's helmet. We're gonna get back in this guy. We have the backing plates with Blake's painted, so those can go on. And then I have a couple of brake together still, and a ton of brake parts, and a whole box of hubs, and some new studs. All these wheels are going to go on and off the right way. I don't care about vintage. We're not going to have wheels spinning the wrong way and breaking studs. That's just silly. Chrysler made a mistake. Why should we perpetuate it? Anyway, regardless, we're back into it, and welcome back. And you should expect an episode every Wednesday. That's my commitment to you for watching, and see you next week. Bye.